Hi everyone, Happy New Year from us here at Neurodiversity. My name's Donna Stevenson and I'm your host for our Let's Talk LinkedIn Lives. It's great to have your company. I've got shoulder length brown hair and because it's incredibly cold here in North Wales, I'm wearing a nice warm snuggly grey Neurodiversity jumper. I'm joined by Arran Smith because although 2025 has literally just started, we've got some dates for your diary, everyone. It's the 9th and 10th of May, isn't it, Arran,
It
at
is,
the
yeah.
NEC in Birmingham for the Neurodiversity Show. And we wanted to have a chat about it because, yes, we wanted to give you those dates, but actually, there's some brilliant exhibitors and speakers happening at this must attend event this year. And we wanted to give you lots of notice and lots of time to get really excited about it. So I'm joined by Arran Smith, who is the founder of the show, amongst many other things across our neurodivergent community, which I'm sure we'll get into. So, hi, Arran. Happy New Year, and it's great
Happy
to
New
have your
Year to you,
company.
Donna. Yes, it's brilliant, Donna. Thank you very much for having me. Because of course we had our previous LinkedIn Live where we talked about travel with
Yes.
neurodiversity,
Yeah.
and now we're talking about the show
I
and
know.
what
And
to do.
actually, one of the things with the travel chat we had is because you're out and about doing all what you do, and in
Yeah,
part the show and so on, isn't it?
yeah, definitely.
So, for those who aren't sure, who don't know a lot about you, tell us a bit about yourself as well, Aaron.
So I'm a neurodiverse individual. So I was diagnosed with being dyslexic at age 9, and I class myself as that severely dyslexic adult that has a number of neurodiverse tendencies from ADHD, ASD, dyspraxia, and also mental health is definitely in there as well. And I spent my life going through a kind of a career where I didn't go to university. I went to college. I got some GMVQs in IT. Ended up working as a youth worker. Then got made redundant. So worked as a labourer on a building site. You know, a dyspraxic pushing a wheelbarrow,
I didn't
which
know
was
this about you.
yeah. And then
Wow.
I worked in retail. And it was when I was in retail, I made a decision to be a trustee of the British Dyslexia Association. So this was in the early 2000s. Um, and I became a trustee. I was the youngest ever trustee at the time. I was going through a lot of workplace problems with making errors because of my dyslexia. And the then chair and CEO said, "You need to check out this job." And that's when I got the job as working as the membership development officer of the BDA. Did some project work for the British Dyslexia Association, where me and you met. Um, in 2016, I left because I was made redundant, and I started a company called Sen Group. And then around 2019, I started a company called Dyslexia Show, which probably leads on to your next question you're going to ask me.
Well, it does very nicely actually, and I'm so glad that you kind of set the scene on who you are because I think the show can only have come from you. And I
Mm.
remember you talking about the idea of the show when we were at the British
Yeah,
Dyslexia Association, because
yeah,
you're such a visionary in that way. So tell us then about, I suppose, what we call now the origin story
yeah.
of the show, really, Aaron.
Yeah, I think so. I think the thing to think about is that within, say, the dyslexia world, because that's what it started with. It was called the Dyslexia Show, and this is pre-pandemic. The dyslexia world is growing dramatically. There are organisations like Ernst and Young talking about it. We've got Made by Dyslexia. We've got the British Dyslexia Association, and lots of other things doing some amazing work. And that's what I could see from being this person that was in kind of a position that could be very independent but see lots of things. I saw that there was some brilliant regional stuff. There was some really interesting educational stuff. There was some really interesting international with the international conference, and all these things that were kind of very specific. But there was nothing that was national, and there was nothing that was big, and there was nothing that was for education and parents. And that's what the original idea was. It was an education and parents exhibition. And the thing what I could see also was there's lots of companies. There was lots of companies then. There's lots of companies now that offer services to support people. So everything from a bookseller to an AT reseller to an AT provider, service provider, and everyone in between. And I went, well, let's bring this together. And kind of at that time, there was two events that happened. So there was an event called Bell House Dyslexia Festival, which was based in London, which had 500 people attend, and the Leeds Dyslexia Festival had 1,000 people registered to attend. And that then made me go, well, actually, they're regional. Let's think about doing something at a national exhibition centre, so Birmingham. And it started because of the CEO of Neurobox, really, because Ben was with me at an event. We had a conversation, and he went, "You need to come and tell me more about it, and we'll help sponsor it." And they were our first sponsor. So Dyslexia Box, now Neurobox, became our first sponsor. And what happened is within about 3 weeks, in May 2019, we had an event created called the Dyslexia Show, ready for 2020. But of course, it didn't happen because it was meant to happen that weekend of lockdown one. So that was that weekend it was meant to happen. So it never happened. It was planned for September 2020. We never announced a date. It was planned for March 2021. Never happened. September 2021 never happened. And we delivered the first event in 2022, where we had 1,200 people attend, which we also then added in workplace because of that working with Neurobox, then Dyslexia Box, then Neurobox now. We had then education, parents, and workplace. We had 1,200 people attend. It was an amazing event. We came out of COVID. We had 60 speakers, 19 sponsors, 42 exhibitors. It was just an amazing event, and it's grew to 2024, where we had over 4,000 people attend last year, and then this word came out, and this word is neurodiversity.
Yeah.
And that's the next, and that I know is your next question. You see, this is really good.
It is. You're very good at this. Um, I think I love what you say about everything you do there. Obviously, I've been to every single one of the shows. I'm so lucky in that way. And there's something for everyone,
Oh yeah,
isn't it?
that's right.
There's the kind of consumer experience where you've got on, the exhibitors and so on. You've got the real high level experts sharing their wisdom, lots of networking. As you said, there's for people, all the different facets of what we might look to a show like that as a parent, an educator, as somebody in the world of work, somebody looking for work for children and so on. So it's really a wraparound event, I think, that you've created, and that's to your credit. And you're right. My next question then is, when it was conceived, it was the Dyslexia Show. Now, am I right in thinking last year you'd kind of added in dyscalculia as
Correct.
well?
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right. Yeah. So what had happened is that working with the Dyscalculia Network,
yeah,
we created the Dyslexia Show and the Dyscalculia Show. So that was a kind of a co-located show within the show, that was very successful, and that was the concept. But the concept that actually was coming out from the speakers and from the exhibitors, and kind of looking at that wider community, the word neurodiversity was the word that was coming out, and it was kind of like, actually, from 23 to 24, neurodiversity was actually the word that was in everyone's sentence. So it wasn't just dyslexia. And the thing about what it is it opens up a door, because yes, there's other events that offer support for specific, so from autism to specific special needs for education, but actually, and also for physical difficulty as well. But actually, to kind of have something that is national for the whole of neurodiversity actually makes them really excited. And this is where the terminology evolution equals more inclusion is a really good concept, because the evolution from the Dyslexia and Dyscalculia Show to the Neurodiversity Show is just that evolution of where we are in the industry, in the community today. And I think that what it has done, it's opened a lot more doors for a lot more exhibitors. It's opened a lot more doors for a lot more attendees. Because the thing what it is, again, like you said, you said it earlier. The show was there was something there for everyone,
yes.
and now it's even more. And that's the point. And that was the thing for me, is that we'd already had organisations that were offering support for autism. We'd already had organisations and companies offering support for dyscalculia, dyspraxia, and ADHD. So actually, the logical thing was for me to actually go, you know what? Actually, let's go to this. Let's change the name to the Neurodiversity Show, and kind of use this as the growth method to grow an event that actually, from a community point of view, has grown amazingly, and and actually from an exhibitor point of view is slowly getting that point where it's going to be a lot of people there showing off what they offer and what support they can give to this community.
Love it. And it's so authentic, Aaron, because you opened with your origin story, talking about your journey. You're truly neurodivergent,
Oh
and you
yeah.
were at the heart of the show. So yes, it's totally authentic, and it's a real passion of yours, isn't it?
And that's the thing,
It's
and it goes back to I remember I was 17 when I was volunteering for the British Dyslexia Association at the NEC at an event, and I absolutely loved it. It's like there's ironics in my concept. It's like when we go, and I think of this every year. When I drive down the car park in the hotel we stay in at the NEC site, I think back to that day when I was 17, when um, when I was carrying boxes to someone's car because that's where the car park was. It's not there now; it's a hotel now. But that's the thing, and it's kind of like there's that nostalgia concept. And for
mm,
me, it was always that thing having it in a central location. The NEC is really central, and it has the flexibility. When people say the NEC, oh, that's gonna you're gonna have massive halls, but actually the NEC's got 22 halls to choose from, and Hall 8 is not the smallest, it's not the biggest, it's the right size for us, and
mm,
we can then fill that to have the right amount of people, the right amount of exhibitors, sponsors, supporters, and speakers to actually have a community feel and deliver the UK's premier exhibition dedicated to neurodiversity, and that's what it is.
yeah. Thank you for you doing this. It's become just something in the calendar now,
It is, yeah,
and
yeah,
I think a lot of people will say to me, "Are you going to the show? I'll see
yeah,
you at the show." And I
yeah,
think you've made it when you've got this kind of shorthand way of talking about it, isn't
yeah,
it?
yeah, and that's
Um,
it, and that's really useful.
yeah, it is. It's more than useful. It's brilliant.
Yeah,
So, with all that in mind, then talk us through what's across those 2 days. Because as I said at the beginning, the dates for our diary is the 9th and the 10th of May. So talk me through what's across the days for all folks who might be
yeah.
listening to
So,
this chat.
so, so the show is open to everyone. So it's an open event show. And we kind of use some demographics to make it easier to what we can offer us. So we have a demographic of education. So education, and then you have parents, you have workplace, and then we have individual neurodivergent individuals. And kind of what we've done is we've offered streams of content for each of them. So for education, we have, of course, an education content on dyslexia. One, it's 2 full days of content. They're the same content each day. The same for parents on dyslexia. We have a full content of dyscalculia. So again, 2 days of content for all demographics. We have a specific neurodiverse theatre for all three demographics. Then we have two additional theatres that are for kind of for education parents and them individuals. One of them's called the Empowerment Lab, which is all about empowering individuals. The Learn Live Lab, which is all about learning. And that's going to be supported by a company called TTS, which is really quite cool. So there's 5 speakers that they're providing for that session, and that's kind of just giving people that. We've also got our workshop theatre, and then of course then our inspirational theatre from our keynote theatre and our exhibitor theatre. So from a content point, it's really big. But then we then look at the thing that is what this session's all about, and that is our workplace section. So workplace this year is going to be bigger. So the last 2 years we've done it as a 1 day event. This year it's a 2 day event. So it is on the Friday and the Saturday. It is a 2 day 2 day event. It's a 2 day ticket event. So that's
It's
the
kind of,
only
I suppose, a workshop atmosphere, isn't it,
yeah,
Aaron,
it is,
these
yeah,
2 day events? Because
yeah,
as you say, you've gone bigger this time. We've got experts, but we've also got interaction. And I know this firsthand because I was lucky enough to host in there last year, and I'll be in there again,
yeah. You are going to be hosting this
curating
year.
our experts and
Yeah,
getting the conversation flowing.
yeah,
In terms of what's on the ground, so I said earlier, you've got a real wraparound events. We've got experts, we've got people talking about, their own
yeah,
lived experiences. I love it on Saturday because then you start seeing there's kids running
yeah,
around and so on, a real family day.
yeah.
But on the ground, in terms of you've got lots of exhibitors, haven't you, as
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
beyond what's happening in the
yeah.
kind of the
That's
different
the thing.
theatres and the
Yeah. So
workshops and things.
we'll expect around 60 exhibitors. That's what makes the event. The event,
Yeah,
we can't we can we kind of look at the event concept is that it's open to anyone. So we have two kind of ways you can get in. So if you're in education, you're a parent, or you're an individual, you can come in for free. And if you want to go to a seminar, you pay for the seminar, or you just walk around the exhibition. You do, and that's because the exhibitors have kind of that's how the event's created. It
yeah.
is, and then that's the thing. So
Can
of
I
course,
just clarify then? Because I think this is something that you do that sometimes people don't realise. It is free to go into the hall and browse, not free to go into the
seminars.
sessions,
Yeah,
the seminars, but it's free to go in and have a look around
that's right.
all those brilliant
If you are an
exhibitors.
educator, a parent,
Yeah,
or an individual, so that's the three demos.
brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If your workplace, because workplace is kind of the concept is that it's a fixed amount of content for you, which you can change, of course. That is a class as a paid for event. So that
yeah,
is the event. Yep. So that's it. So you pay for your 2 days. You can pay for one day, but it's more cost effective to come for the 2 days,
yeah.
because there's also additional things that's going to happen in the evening which we haven't announced yet, which is a sneaky peek in
Oh,
this LinkedIn live that's going to
spoiler
happen.
alert.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, so if I go thinking I'm just going to have a browse,
Yeah.
but then I think actually I really want to pop into, if I'm a parent, I really want to pop into that. Can I get a ticket on the day if I
You
suddenly
can
think
do.
actually I
You
do want to go into a
you
talk?
you can do, but my recommendation is don't be disappointed. Order the tickets
Okay.
before. But the
Yes.
one reason is also tickets are they're a fixed price online, so they're cheaper online than they are on the day because of course the day tickets are going to be a lot less and there's more processing time because you've got people time to do it. But the other thing we've done this year, which we trialed last year, which is now is that we do day tickets. So if you are a person, so let's say that you're a specialist teacher and you want to go to a talk about dyslexia, you want to go to a talk about dyscalculia, or talk about autism, or talk about ADHD, and you want to and then you want to go and that Becky Hawes is coming and you want to listen to her. So basically, you can say, actually, you know what? That's a day ticket. That's 5 sessions. There's 5 sessions in a day. We're going to get at least 2.5 hours to wander around the actual exhibition. But I've got 45-minute sessions, and that will cost you a set amount. It will do, and that's actually a day ticket, which is the cheapest way to do it. The
Yeah.
same thing, but if you want to go to one session, then just book one session. It is
Yeah.
registered for
Brilliant.
free. It's kind of giving people options and kind of being more open with them what they want to do, and that's the benefit of it. We are looking forward to having. We've got so many more speakers this year than we've ever had because and that's what people want. They want content, and there's a lot more content to cover when it comes to
Yeah.
neurodiversity.
Yeah, yeah, brilliant. It's just gathering more and more momentum. And as I
Yeah,
say, the energy there is just so exciting. Everybody leaves absolutely buzzing, including from the workplace. And as I said last year, I was very lucky to host in that zone, and I'll be there again, hosting and making sure that we get the absolute maximum information from all our wonderful experts. Tell me a little bit then about who's in that theatre. You,
yeah,
you said you've gone from 1 to 2 days,
yeah.
so just a little flavour of
That
what's going on.
so what we've done with workplace, we've expanded it to 2 days.
Yeah,
We've also got the option of expanding it a little bit further. So let's talk about workplace data. It's called the Inclusion Lab. It's sponsored by this amazing company called Neurobox, and it's hosted by a fabulous human called Donna Stevens, which I'm really looking forward to. Um,
keep
and
going.
and I think, and I'll keep going. That's right, yeah. So as people will understand, me and Donna have known each other a very long time, and we can have these conversations. So the event is the concept of the workplace is all about the future of neuro inclusion in the workplace, and that's what
Yeah,
the kind of the theme of the whole event is about. So last year it was about empowering neurodiversity. This is about looking at that inclusion around workplace when it comes to neurodiversity, neuro inclusion. And we've got some amazing speakers. So we've got, of course, we've got again, and Michael Vanesh from Microsoft. He's been to every event.
yes.
He's coming back to talk
And
to us.
he is excellent. What he
He's
shares from what the
yeah.
cutting edge innovations is just amazing.
And the thing about it is he has that lived experience of being someone with a neurodiversity
Yeah.
as well, and being like I've known Michael a long time. He in a number of his roles, he's actually what they call one of the Platinum Club members of Microsoft. So this is a top award that people get. They get it's a very nice award. You get a platinum embossed logo
Wow.
on your business card, which he made the decision not to have because he wanted Braille on his business card,
Oh, okay.
which is I
Yeah.
think is a brilliant thing.
Yeah.
The event over 2 days, we've got people like Mark and Deborah from Neurobox. We've also got people from one of our other organisations that are supporting the event, Care Scribes. So the Care Scribes, our managing director Richard is
Yeah.
coming to talk.
We've got somebody from Bupa,
Bupa and
Avanard,
Abinard. Of course, we've got
KPMG.
KPMG. That's the thing,
Yeah.
yeah. It's amazing. We've also got people coming back. So Elizabeth Tecci and Stephen Parr, who have spoken at the event many times before, they're back to talk about their unique lived
Yeah.
experiences, which is really empowering. Um, and of course, like people like Katie Allen's coming to do talking about how to avoid doing things like putting your foot in the mouth, which
Yeah.
is going to be quite an
She's a
amazing
great
event.
leadership and career coach.
Yeah,
And we've actually spoke with her on one of our LinkedIn live chats. And so this is a chance to see her in person, really sharing her
yeah.
wisdom around,
And
um,
the
yeah,
added benefit
that
of this,
language and inclusivity and so on. It's brilliant.
yeah. The only benefit of that is that basically that if you are an EGR an inclusion lead, and a diversity lead, if you are a HR lead, a senior leader, you've also then got the option that's what you are when you register. That's what you go into. But if you want to, and if you're a HR lead, we've actually got a career stream as well that's being delivered by a number of HR professionals, which again is designed both for leaders, but also for individuals. So that's an option you can go into as well. You also have the option if you want to go into the empowerment theatre. So if you want to go and listen to Mark talk about access to work, or we're hoping, I think we can say that we know we've got exhibitors from DWP coming, and that we're hoping that they will do a talk for us as well on access to work, but that's still not confirmed, but we're letting people know now because that might happen. If not, we'll have the amazing Mark Wood. I
Mark
can never.
Woodward.
Well,
Yeah,
Mark Woodward. Can
talking
never remember his last name.
about access.
From Neurobox,
Yeah,
which
I
is
mean, you've got so much, isn't it, in
it's
terms of
huge.
this
Yeah,
expertise and things that people want to know about real life, parts of our real lives, access to work and so on,
yeah,
as
uh,
well as the top level, new developments.
yeah. And I think the thing what it is that especially when it comes to a careers point of view, if we're empowering neuro inclusion, we've got to empower that talent and that talent acquisition around ensuring that individuals that are working in our organisations have actually got the roles that they should have, and have
Mm,
the roles and the roles that they can thrive in and actually support the actual business. It's like when you look at that concept that me and you know very well around dyslexia friendly schools, and how dyslexia friendly schools actually help with things like Ofsted and help with kind of career development and career support. It's the same thing in workplace. If we are a neuro inclusion workplace, we're moving forward. And that's the other benefit of this year's show. One of the things that we've created, or I can say I've created, is that we are also looking for those companies that are supporting neuro inclusion, supporting neurodiversity across it. So we have this amazing corporate engagement strategy for corporates that want to kind of go, actually we want to send some people, but we also want to talk about that actually we are we're doing X, we're doing Y, and we want to support this event, and that's a real benefit to them companies, and we know that's going to be really good. And it's when you look back at the companies that have attended, it's like you're looking at things like Eon Energy that have attended the event, and they've always brought 5 people. You look at Nationwide Building Society, they've always brought 4 people to the event. They've come every year because they get something out of it. And that to me is really important. And that's why having the support from Neurobox, having that knowledge, having someone like Donna chair and host the event, for someone that's been in this industry only slightly longer than me, only a little bit.
Steady on, Aaron. I
No,
don't
no,
want
no,
you
no.
to give my age away on
You
LinkedIn.
know what? I can't remember, so it's all right. It's the benefit of that's the benefit of being dyslexic. So that's why I say slightly. I think I've done 20 years. You've done 23. Is that
20,
fair?
yes, I think possibly you could be right.
That sounds fair.
Beyond sharing my age, share what is going to be some of the takeaways
Oh,
from the workplace zone. Because I scribbled down some notes before we got
yeah,
started. We've got information for line managers.
yeah,
We've got a great panel pondering what does a Nora inclusive workplace look like with lots of top tips. So there's like some practical things there as well.
yeah. I think. And what
Anything else to add to that? There's
the
recruitment in the mix, isn't
the
there?
recruitment's in the mix. I think the other thing about what it is what we are doing is that anyone that comes to the workplace stream that has a workplace ticket, we also are creating with Neurobox and an organisation called Evi, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, Ivy,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, Evie, and what we're doing is we're creating this kind of visual structure of what has happened over the 2 days.
yeah,
So this is a guide that you get after the event that kind of gives you a kind of a physical evidence base of what you can use. So all these practical talks, all these concepts are brought in. You'll be able to see them in a visual format. And that's thing, and this is the thing about the whole show. It's like we can announce that Widget, who do they do communication signs across industries, and so they're supporting the event, and we're going to be able to use their widget symbols across the event. So if we need to communicate, B Squared are sponsoring a quiet room so people can go in there.
right.
So we are kind of as a show, we're being really neuro inclusive, and this kind of like the things around careers is new for this year. We're also about to launch, and again, this is another sneaky peek. So next week there's going to be loads of announcements. So go to the website, and you'll see that there'll be a place for you to register for information. We're also having a very small, but it is growing. We will have a small academic zone, which will have a number of
Great.
researchers presenting posters. So this is bringing back an academic concept of research that's coming through. So that's new, new seating areas. It's a new theatres. It's like the whole event it's a lot of work. It's really good fun. It can be quite stressful, but you know what? For me, we know if we just take dyslexia, we know that there's it's 10% of the population has some severity of dyslexia. I think it's 17 to 20% of our workforce have a neurodiversity. So it's like we have to take this into consideration, and we have to support every sector. We have to support that parent to that journey. We have to support that educator in the workplace. We have to support the um, the individual neurodiverse individual that is going through their working career or not in work and needs that support. And then we need to support them senior leaders, them managers, them advisors within our companies and organizations to understand actually people that are neurodiverse are very valued members of the team. They have some amazing strengths that can do things, and not being big-headed about it. I have a strength and I can see it. I've always been able to see the event before it happens. I've always been able to see the bright pink carpet, the stands being built, and it is a fascinating thing. Getting there at 6 o'clock on that Thursday morning when you literally walk into a hall that is a blank canvas. It's literally a black floor. It's freezing cold. The big doors are open. These lorries come in, and literally these guys come out with high vis on, and literally carpet is being rolled out, and stands are being built. Then another lorry comes in, and another group of people come in and drop a load of AV in, and then another group of people come in and put signage up, and it's like actually within 6 hours or 7 or 8, within about 8 hours, we've gone from an empty hall to an event that
To a
basically
village.
yeah,
It's
to
to
a
a
village.
village, isn't
Yeah,
it?
to a village, and that actually tomorrow morning 2,000 people turn up or 3,000 people turn up in that morning to actually do it, which is what we want to see, and that's why we've done this. We've made the workplaces scalable, so we want as many people to come as possible, because for us, it's like what's going to keep the show growing. We need to grow the event in any way possible to ensure that we can continue offering this support and service.
And I have to say thank you for what you do because it's so special. The heart, it's so very much real, I guess, in there. You can just sense it when you're there, because beyond building the village, then the community comes. Those
Yeah,
days, it's just very, very special. So
yeah.
thank you, Aaron. I'm already getting excited. We're only in January, and
Well,
I'm looking forward to
we're
May.
we're 5 months away.
Yeah,
5 months away tomorrow when the event starts.
brilliant.
It's like that thing.
So, for those who are listening who think, actually, this sounds like something I want to attend, where can we find out more? We're on the back of this, we're going to share the links to the website and so
Yeah,
on. Is it a good idea for people to follow the Neurodiversity Show on LinkedIn?
yeah,
Because there is a kind of
yeah. That's right.
profile.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Tell
So
me
yeah.
where else that we can go to
So
find
you can
out
go.
more.
So all social media platforms. So Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X. You can find us on their
And we're
Neurodiversity
just
Show.
putting in Neurodiversity Show on those
Neurodiversity Show.
platforms.
Yeah,
Yeah,
on them platforms you'll find it. Excuse me there. Yeah, you can also go to neurodiversity.show. That's the web address. So neurodiversity.show. And you'll find out all the information there. Now, if you want to look at something specific like workplace, it's neurodiversity.show/workplace. The same for education, parents, individuals. So that's where you'll find that information. It's a really it's going to be really specific. But like I said, next week we are going to be launching the timetables for workplace, the timetables for education, parents, individuals. We're going to be launching the neurodiversity theatre, the Learn Live theatre, the empowerment theatre, the careers theatre will come later this month, and it's just going to be like an amazing concept. We're opening applications on the 20th of January for poster sessions to come in. It's like there's so much happening this month. It's kind of hard to see. It's been a
yeah.
lot of
Watch
work.
this space.
Yeah, it's been a lot of work over the last month, and actually in between Christmas and New Year, I posted something about burnout and having a neurodiverse brain that doesn't stop. And I
Mm.
haven't really stopped. I have stopped, but I haven't really, because I'm so passionate about having the community there and the community getting that benefit from the event, because that's what it's all about. It's all about giving that thing. And like you said, we had 200 children there last year,
Yeah.
and it's really nice to see that now, because the thing about it is as a neurodiverse individual, I remember that time when I was told I was dyslexic, and I felt, well, I was very happy. But I used the analogy of dyslexia was like going to the dentist, that feeling of stress and anxiety, because that is what I felt like. I felt really alone, and that's what the show does. The show opens up and goes, actually, you're not alone, because there is these inspirational sessions. There's these amazing people. There's these amazing companies that are doing stuff, and it's all from an idea that changes people's lives. And that's the thing, like looking at standards, looking at empowering potential. All these things are our core values, and that's what I stand for. Because for me, let's just change the world, and that we can use the Apple saying think differently is probably the right terminology, because that's what I've done. I've just thought, actually, we can do this, and we have.
And it's so exciting. And
Yeah.
your core values align with them here at NeuroBox as well, and that's
Mm.
why it's the perfect fit. So this is a
Yeah.
great conversation to start our LinkedIn lives this year
Yeah.
with these dates in the diary. So just to remind everybody, the 9th and 10th of May, everybody at the NEC Birmingham, it's not to be missed. We've
Yeah.
had a question in the chat about how folks can get involved, and I think everything we've shared so far probably answers that question, but this person's also commenting about maybe wanting to be a speaker, if not
So,
this time, maybe in the future.
so
Have
in
you
the
got
future,
all the speakers that you
so
need,
so
Aaron,
this
for
year,
this event?
the only speaking slots we've got available are for exhibitors. So all the speaking slots are closed. There may be the odd one. So it may be something that we do fit in. It depends on what you're doing and what you're kind of wanting to speak about. It's kind of, I can't go a day without having someone ask that question to me.
Yeah,
So it is very hard, because um, it's kind of things, like I said, you take on this hall and you have to build everything. Now this year I've made the decision to put more seminar space in, which takes away from exhibition space, but it then goes, actually, we've got to make sure that works. both from an exhibitor point of view and a delegate point of view and a speaker point of view. So that's the kind of balance. So yes, there may be the odd one or two, so they can always reach out to me through LinkedIn. By all means, I don't mind that, and I can have a conversation with them.
Or maybe a poster, Arran. If the
Yeah.
posters are going to open, that's a great way to share
Yeah,
thoughts.
posters is a really good way, because posters are basically they are a set fee. There will be a fee for that, but you come in, you put your poster up for the day or for the 2 days, and you hover around that area, and if people want to talk to you about it, they can do. It's a really useful thing. We are doing like kind of days ones on that. It's really interesting. So I think it's a really good concept to have. I think what's going on. But yeah, I think the other thing is to get involved. So if you're an exhibitor, again, and we're always looking for more exhibitors as well. So you can find out more on our website. So neurodiversity.show. You can click on the button that says register, or click on the button that says exhibit at the event. It's very clear. And you just need to select which demographic you're in. So if you're in the workplace, then click the workplace. That's where you're going to get in. If you are a senior leader in a certain environment and you want that, that's what you want. Now, if you're an individual and you're going, actually, I want to support myself, go for an individual. If you're a parent, go for parent. If you're a carer, go for parents. If you work within education, work with education. But that's fine. It's a really amazing concept for me to get involved in, and just come along. It's like you can come on the day, you can register on the day to come in for free, but I would recommend registering before. It means you get everything.
It sounds like, I think folks, as brilliant as that is about, having a look around, I think it probably is, bearing in mind what you've said and how busy it is, it's wise to buy a ticket connected to the area that you, as you call it, the demographic that you're connected to. Well, thanks so much for making time. I know you're super busy, because the Neurodiversity Show is just part of the many things that you do across the neurodivergent community.
As we said, as we said in our last LinkedIn Live, a portfolio lifestyle.
Portfolio, I like that. Portfolio lifestyle, yes. And I'm so glad that one of the portfolio items is the show. So thank you, Arran. And thank you all for listening. We hope you've enjoyed this conversation. Isn't it brilliant when we hear somebody from our community make so much of a difference as Arran does? This is the beginning then of our 2025 conversations. Thank you so much, everyone, for your company. Big thanks as always to Arran, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye, everyone.
And I will see everyone on the 9th and 10th of May at the Neurodiversity
9th and 10th
Show.
as if we haven't mentioned it enough, Arran. 9th and 10th of May.
10th of May.
See everyone next time. Bye, everyone.
Take care. Bye-bye.